Hey guys, Jim here. First off, fuck me, right? Yeah, like I needed another expensive hobby. Secondly, yes, for years you've heard me say over and over and over again, I don't need another thing in my pocket. I don't need a flashlight because I don't go anywhere that would necessitate keeping a light on my person. And a lot of you guys have suggested to me, hey Jim, you're into knives, you're into guns, you're into all this stuff. Why don't you get into carrying a nice flashlight? And it really wasn't a big deal for me. Now, the thing is, I'm a guy. I'm a guy that likes toys. A guy that likes special toys, shiny toys, custom toys. And that's what I'm going to be getting into here. And you're going to notice a new series on my channel called Into the Light. And I kind of dipped my feet into the pool a little bit ago, about 2 weeks ago, when I did a video on a light from Mastrop. You know, just a very inexpensive, cool-looking little EDC light. And that sparked that interest in me. And some friends of mine did as well. And what I think is going to be the most fun about this is you get to experience what I'm experiencing as I'm experiencing it in the beginning of this journey. Listen, I didn't have a YouTube channel when I first fell in love with knives. I was a kid and there wasn't even an internet back then. And I didn't even have a YouTube channel when I first fell in love with custom-made knives back around 2009. It was years later that I decided to share my passion with everyone. And at that point, you guys were kind of dropping in really, really late in the game for me. So a lot of the evolution that I went through, even though I'm still constantly evolving, and many of you noticed that, a lot of that initial evolution, you know, happened long before I ever did anything with YouTube. But here I'm literally just beginning, and you'll get to share this passion with me as a newcomer. Or maybe you're already a serious flashaholic and you get to sit here and watch a newbie get his feet wet, and maybe I'll get a chance to take you back to those innocent days before you became slightly spoiled or jaded and enjoyed even the smallest little things like you're going to notice that I'm doing. Now, I began like pretty much everyone, you know, just a few cheap flashlights around the house, bought wherever. Then one day, I think I was probably, I don't know, 17 or 18, I bought, well, I thought was going to be the most expensive flashlight in the world, and a lot of you guys remember this from the 80s and 90s, the big, ginormous mag light. I think it probably took like 6C batteries or some crazy shit. You know, and that's, you know, long ago and far away. Now, most recently, the last time I really bought a light for anything, I was at, oh geez, what was it? It was a bike night. And I saw someone selling these small, about this size, pocket-sized LED flashlights, and I realized I probably should have one in the saddlebag of my Road Glide because, well, it's a Harley and it's most likely going to break down. Now, with my luck, it's probably going to happen at night, so it'd be really good to have a flashlight there to be able to see what the hell I'm doing. At the very least, get into the toolkit I carried on it. Now, luckily, you know, it never did break down, so that's fantastic. But, you know, for $10, I had a sense of security, and that was my first step into an LED light. Obviously, nothing fancy at all. Then most recently, I got into the Olight S1 batons. I bought the original, which was the black aluminum, really, really nice. And then I bought the limited version, the special edition, whatever, in the matte titanium. And I gotta tell you, I absolutely love it. And even after buying these, I can tell you right now, they kick ass, and they're awesome in every way. But now I've kind of gone off on the deep end. And just very quickly, here's what I've got. This is just kind of a welcome to the Into the Light series, because I'm going to be doing a video on each and every one of these. So I'm not going to give you a lot of information here. It's more or less, why the hell is Jim showing flashlights on his channel? I can point you back to this and you'll realize why I'm doing it. I want to kind of expand my channel a little bit, not just custom knives, but every now and then a few different types of EDC gear. Now, going in the order in which I received them, not necessarily the order in which I ordered them, the very first light that I ordered was a full Damascus version of this, and it still hasn't arrived yet. What I've got here is the Henko Twisted Titanium Trident. Really, really amazing machining skills that Jeff Henko has. Very, very happy with this light. This is the one that I've had the longest now at this point, and I've been carrying it for a week solid before any of my other lights arrived. And very, very cool. Really like it a lot. Super simple, very easy to use. Nice little clicky on the back. Easy to carry. Kind of heavy, kind of chunky. And now that I have this one, I realize there's a significant weight difference. But I really, really like this light a lot. It's very versatile, good quality, very floody. It's got a very, very floody kind of beam to it. So that was number one. The second one that arrived, actually these two arrived on the same day. I'll start with this one. This is the Tane Aura. Nice, teeny, tiny little compact knife. I'm sorry, see, I'm going to say knife a lot because that's all I'm used to reviewing. Very compact little EDC flashlight. It's actually got a glow pad in here. I'm going to charge it up with a much stronger light just for a second so you can see it kind of glowing in there. And then back here in the tail cap, you know what? Maybe if I cut the lights, you'll be able to see it. There we go. So it's got tritium set up in the tail cap, and it's got tritium set up in the electronic button right back there. Really, really nicely done. There you can see the glow. Very slick little setup. I like that a lot. I'm actually going to be getting a lot of lights with tritium in there. I like having them because what they're really used for is for locators. So if I've got the light sitting on my nightstand and it's pitch black and I want to reach over and grab it, it's easier to find it in the dark. I don't need a flashlight to find my fucking flashlight because it has little glowing things on it. So there is that. That's the Tane Aura. The next one that arrived, this is pretty much considered by the serious flashlight, custom flashlight guys as the Rolls Royce between this and his other model, which is called the Tri-V, which has three different emitters. These are pretty much the best you can buy and pretty much the most expensive you're going to come across. Mine is the base model. This is called the Cool Fall Spy 007 Sapphire. It's got the new sapphire lens. It's completely flush. No dust gets down in between the bezel and the lens. This is the base version, and I actually wanted it like this. I didn't want the engraving. I like the satin machine look to it, and I'm glad because the base model is $1,400. The most elaborate of this model is $2,695. Then you get into the Tri-V with the 3 heads, and it gets even more expensive. And this thing is just utterly fantastic. Stupidly bright, ridiculously bright. Basically, you have 4 banks set up in there. You have 6 positions on the switch, 7 if you count off. And then you have 4 different banks of memory that you can select from. So you can have 6 times 4 at all times set up in this light. So you've got a lot of versatility, or you can just leave it the way that it is from the maker, and it works, you know, fantastically. Very, very easy to use. Very fast selection. I have programmed mine so that on position 6 it is at its maximum effectiveness, and it's unbelievably bright. It's brighter than you would ever need, and it would heat up very, very fast. But just a quick look at that. The Cool Fall Spy 007 Sapphire, pretty much the Rolls Royce of pocket flashlights. Very slick, very cool. I am completely enamored with this purchase. I'm very, very glad that I bought this. As you see, yeah, it's crazy bright. It'll actually make my camera fight to adjust for that. And then today arrived what is pretty much the standard, the classic for most people. This is the Gizmo Haiku. This is the one that if people ask you, hey, I want to get into custom flashlights or semi-custom flashlights or just a really friggin' great EDC flashlight, what should I buy? 9 times out of 10, that Flashaholic's going to tell you, get him a Gizmo. And there are a few different versions you can get. I liked the look of the Haiku head on there. Very very ray gun looking, very 1950s sci-fi, futuristic sci-fi, very cool. Has the cracked ice clip. Very simple double click to go in between each mode. Just amazing. This guy's been making custom lights for over a decade, and he was pretty much the first guy to do a titanium bodied light, as far as I know, and I will do some more research before I do the review on it. And when I do them, listen, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm doing as much as I can to learn. I've got some flashlight buddies that are teaching me more, and I've had a chance now to speak with Dave at Coolfall. I've had a chance to chat a little bit with Don through email over at McGizmo. And then John, who works with Jeff Hanko, has given me a lot of tutorials, and I'm going to keep learning as much as I can, because what I don't want to do is come out here and give you misinformation, especially if you're in the position like I am where you're just starting out. This is a much more complex hobby than collecting knives, by fucking far. You know, it's about the emitters that you're using, and it's about the reflectors and the finish on the reflector and the depth of the reflector and the electronics that are being used to drive the emitter. And there's so many variables and options. When you go to order the Coolfall Spy, you have a choice of, I believe it was 3 different emitters on that. Then you pick your color temperature from there. With Don's light here, the Haiku, there were 3 different emitter choices, I do believe, and you know, different battery choices in some of these different lights. So yeah, there's a lot that you have to learn, and I'm going to do my best to give you all the information that I can in each review. So when I get to doing the individual reviews, I'll talk about the emitters, I'll talk about the color temperatures, why I chose one over the other. You know, this one, I didn't have a choice because I bought this from another collector because I didn't want to wait for my Damascus version to arrive. That'll be here in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm very excited about that. But it actually has the same emitter that I chose on my Damascus order. I wanted something that was a little bit warmer, because when you get into something like this is a 5000K emitter. It's a very bright white, bluish white light, and when you're looking at whatever you're illuminating, it can tend to be a little bit flat, and you lose some of that depth of field that you'll gain back with a slightly warmer, slightly more yellow tint. So there are different reasons and different, you know, variables for different people, and I don't really think there's any one choice that's going to be right for anybody. And I'm going to experiment with a few different lights and a few different emitters and a few different color ranges, temperatures, excuse me, and see what I like the best. And here I've got a pretty good setup. People love the Haiku because basically it is considered to have and again, this is a very general term, I'm not going to say everybody feels the same, but when you listen to people talking out there, people seem to feel that this has the best beam quality of any light out there. Because from the hot spot all the way out, it's a very smooth transition. It's not just, you know, jumpy and it clips from one to the other. It's a very, very smooth transition. So you've got a good flood on here. You've got a good spot, good all-around light. This one is, you know, mainly going to be all about the spot. The flood is going to be fairly weak at a further distance. This one, fuck, you'll light up fucking the Super Bowl with that thing. And with the Hanko, up close, yeah, you see it's a really intense spot, but I'm only, you know, 6 inches away. Now you throw it against the fence 60 feet away, and it's just very, 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 very spread out with no central hotspot. So, you know, everybody's going to have different reasons for buying different lights or choosing different options. And I'm going to try to give that all to you as best as I possibly can, but I think we're going to have fun. And I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel are knife guys and may not have ever picked up an interest in higher end flashlights. And even if you like lights at all, it's probably just like what I've been buying. Basic, regular, I can go to Home Depot and buy it kind of lights. If you've ever even had a passing interest, keep an eye out for these videos. I'm going to warn you, I'm going to cost you a lot of money because it's easy for me to justify why I've gotten into this. And I knew as soon as I got these in, if this isn't going to be the thing for me, I'm just going to turn around and sell them. I can break even. I'm in good shape. But each and every one that has come in, I have fallen in love with for individual different reasons. And it's going to be a lot like the knives. It's going to be always on the hunt for the next cool thing. It's going to be, I don't have enough. It's going to be, how many cool options can I get into? So yeah, that's it right now, guys. I'll start probably in the next 2 weeks. Do want to get my ducks in a row. I want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time as well as my own and putting out a shitty video. So I'm going to get my ducks in a row, and in about 2 weeks you're going to start seeing videos. I'm probably going to start with the Hanko. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've only had this for a few hours, so I can't say much about the Haiku. This right now, out of these three, I would tell you is my most versatile, and I've enjoyed carrying it every single day. Yeah, there's some serious wow factor with this one, and this one's really cool with all the tritium and the very small size, but you know what? No pocket clip. This has a pocket clip. That makes it a bit more practical. I've got to have a little slip sheath made for this so I don't bang it up and scratch it up with my key fob. You know, same with this. This doesn't have a pocket clip, and it's heavier. It's a little bit less practical than this. This is something that's small. It's got a very common battery. It's got a good, powerful light to it. Super simple to use. It's just a really great all-around light. So anyway, I'm going to go before I start rambling and getting into this shit. I'll get into it more in detail later. I'll see you on the first videos.